guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on, what day is it? It's
Monday.
Monday. My brain is so unbelievably frazzled. Monday, November 13th. We're recording the bulk of this episode before Celtics-Knicks later tonight. I will be recording with probably either Cam or Bobby Kravitsky.
Or me.
Or Cam. Or
I'm going to be up.
If you're going to be up, then
the post-game pressers might fuck me. But I plan to try and be up after we're done with this. I'm going to sleep.
Sure.
And I'll be here for pregame. You guys will have seen me on pregame. That's a guarantee.
If you're up, and we'll be ready to rock. But we're recording the bulk of this episode now. That said, we are obviously going to start with the most relevant news, so we can just jump right over and throw it to me and
no.
Sam, maybe
the winner. You gotta pick the winner.
Yes, thank you. We should do this beforehand. We'll be rocking with Incognito for the early portion before we send it over to Celtics-Knicks, and picking this episode's winner of the $10 e-gift card. So we had 10 entries today. This is a record high, so thank you all for joining in. Make sure to comment again on this podcast. Comment what's poppin' with your comment. It can be a part of your full comment. It can be the only thing in your comment. But if you comment what's poppin' on this video, you'll be entered to win a $10 gift card to Incognito, which, if you're unaware, is some great flavored popcorn. And I did get my Incognito today. Shout out.
You fucked up, by the way. Worth texted me. He's like, I gave Jack his Incognito and he let me have a bag. I was like, oh, what flavor? He was like, yeah, I gave him, or he gave me the Perfect Storm, which is a fire flavor. It's peanut butter chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, I should have taken.
You should have given him like Newport cheddar or something, because
I let him pick. No, I let him pick. He did me a favor. I said, pick any flavor you want, and I'll.
He did an excellent job picking.
Good for him. Good for him. Nah, shout out Worth. Worth's the legend. So appreciate him for delivering it to me. You said you fucked up, and I thought you meant like I did something wrong, like on the podcast. I panicked for a second. I was like, whoa. No. I panicked. You can't be doing that to me. Anyways, comment what's poppin' on this episode. You will be entered for next episode to win a $10 gift card to Incognito, which is great flavored popcorn. Shout out them. But we are going to spin the wheel and see who wins this episode. $10. Let's see who wins it. Xavier, we'll be getting into contact with you. I'll respond to your comment on the YouTube. Let you know that you are the winner of this pod's Incognito giveaway. Again, if you would like to win yourself a $10 gift card to buy some fire popcorn, comment on the video what's poppin'. You will be entered for the next one. But
can't go wrong. Zillion flavors. You're gonna hit all of them. I've tried have been hits.
Phenomenal. But without further ado, let's jump on over to the Celtics-Knicks review. And thank you to our Pazels for throwing it over to Jack. And once again, I am joined by Cam Tabatabaie of the Celtics Lab podcast. And we are here in the garden still. So if you're hearing any audio, it's because we were just sitting in the garden instead of in a back room. So you can get some ambiance, I suppose. After the Celtics took down the New York Knicks, it was a pretty convincing win for the Celtics, 114-98 win. It was a close game up until, what would you say, Cam? The fourth quarter is really when they kind of blew it out of proportion.
Middle of the third, you could see that the Celtics were going to pull away with it. I mean, they outscored the Knicks 32-23 in the third. Once the threes started falling for Boston, it was game over.
For sure. I mean, early on, Sam Hauser was the only guy who could make his threes. I think at one point the Celtics were 5 for 16 or something, and Sam Hauser had 3 of the makes on 4 shots. So, and all the meanwhile, the Knicks were making every single tough look you can imagine. So, this was a real grinded out win for the Celtics. It doesn't, like, if you just look at the final box score, you think, oh, easy win for Boston. But this was like they had to work for this. Like this was a good win against a team that has, I want to say, like, has playoff aspirations. Like, I think the Knicks are going to end up being a top 6 team in the East. So this was a good win. Granted, missing RJ Barrett, but they shot what the Knicks end up shooting from 3, and it was a ridiculous number. They shot 43% from 3. At one point, it was 47. But
I was going to say it came back to earth. The Knicks, I mean, the Celtics ended up shooting 44% from 3 for 3 quarters of the game, if not more. The Knicks were by far the more consistent team from 3, and 2 trends kind of intersected at the right time for the Celtics. The Celtics started hitting their shots, and the Knicks cooled off just enough for Boston to like finally dominate the game. because Celtics had a lot of luck inside. They were the better team inside, but the Knicks just were hitting their shots. They got open here and there, but I mean, Mazzulla said so after the game. They hit a lot of contested threes too. They were a really good shooting team, and 44% is a pretty good clip. Or whatever it was, 43% for them. The Celtics really came alive. I think they shot 50% from three in the second half. So,
yeah, 44 in the game.
Yeah, the Knicks
really good game.
Good game to watch or good game for the Knicks?
It was weird. Like I was talking to Bobby Garitsky up there, and like the fourth quarter rolled around, and we were like, "Wow, this game's going by fast." Usually these like grinded out slog games, which it like felt like at the time, don't go like that, and they're usually like, "Oh, this is taking forever," but it was moving pretty smoothly. And I mean, we can talk about some of the individual performances now. Tatum was solid, in the first quarter, really slowed down in the second. And then in the second half, he was just like, all right, it's Jason Tatum time. I'm just going to, do that thing where I beat up your entire roster and you can't really do anything about it. So, I mean, he ended the game with 35 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 13 of 23, 5 of 12. And it felt like he got off to a super slow start. And it was like, I mean, it's not like he was bad. He was making his layups. He was cutting to the rim. He was doing fine. But like, this felt like one of the Tatum games.
He started the game 0 for 6.
0 for 6 from 3. He made his layups and stuff in the first quarter, but from like it felt like this was going to be a meh Tatum game, and then you look down at the box score and you're like, oh, he's just got 35 points. That's cool. Wow. And obviously he had that explosion in the fourth quarter that kind of sealed the deal. But I mean, this is the type of, I'll put it this way, this is the type of performance you need to see in an MVP season, because it's like he was so good and you didn't even realize how good he was.
Yeah. To your point, not that that's the takeaway. The game is only 2 hours and 11 minutes, which is on the quicker side, nearly as quick as Saturday's game, and that one really flew by. Yeah, I mean, I think Kristaps really and Hauser really kept the Celtics alive in the first half. And it was like a tie game, or the Knicks were up 1 or 2 or whatever. But then Tatum really put the team on their back. And when Tatum's good, I mean, as is the case with every other best player in the league, when your best guy is hitting shots as consistently as that, everything else is smoother. Credit the Celtics for just like smoking the Knicks in the paint. The points in the paint stats, I think the Celtics were like a plus 20 in that category, but as is often the case in the NBA, it was the best player got hot at the right time to ice things. And so whatever the final score was, 114-98, to your point, it wasn't as much of a blowout as it might appear, at least not until the very end.
Definitely. I mean, Tatum was fun, and I think the point you made about Porzingis and Hauser was particularly interesting, because obviously the Celtics, like you said, they shot really well in the paint, and that was really all they had in the first half because they weren't hitting their threes. And so if you're the Knicks, you have to account for that. And when the Celtics aren't hitting threes, that defense works. And so for Hauser and Porzingis to be that effective from 3 in this game, kind of like, if they weren't hitting their shots, I'll put it this way, then the Celtics probably would have been down by 10 at halftime instead of 1. Like those guys being able to lock in and nail their threes when it mattered was huge. The floor spacing was much needed because the Celtics stars weren't hitting their shots. Derek White had a particularly rough game from 3. He shot just 1 of 3. Drew Holiday turned it around, but he wasn't shooting great in the first quarter. He came alive after he saw one go down. Jaylen Brown 2 of 9, and then Jason Tatum started 0 of 6 from 3. So having Hauser, who came in and shot 3 of 4 in the first quarter and a half, ended 4 of 6, and Porzingis go 3 of 6 from deep, like that floor spacing really stretched the Knicks defense thin. And because they were able to make those shots when nobody else was hitting it, like it kept the Celtics in a game that it felt like they should have been losing.
Yeah, it's hard to feel too worried when the team is 8-2 or 7-2 or whatever. They're 8-2, right?
8-2, 5-0 at home.
5-0 at home. With like a pretty serious differential, so it's hard to be nitpicky. But I am cognizant of the fact that let's see here, Joe Mazzulla played not that many bench players. Al Horford, Sam Hauser, and Peyton Pritchard were the only bench players to see action. Horford and Hauser played 20 minutes plus, so that's kind of nice. And Pritchard almost played 20 minutes. The numbers are misleading because Pritchard was on the floor with a lot of the starters. I don't know what he does on this team because if there isn't a second unit, it's more of a system thing. If there's not a second unit for him to quarterback, right? Like if there's always primary playmaking starting player on the floor, be it Derek, be it Holiday, be it Tatum, then Pritchard is going to be the second ball handler. And I don't really see him as like a catch and shoot 3 option because he's not getting open in that way. I feel like the spacing with Pritchard on the floor when he's not the point guard is not correct yet, and maybe problematically, or at the very least, just kind of in an odd way. Like there was a funny stretch. I almost said something out loud because we were sitting together at this game again, where it was like 4 or 5 plays where not only was Pritchard not doing anything, he was like often in the wrong spot. But then he got this like bunny layup because he cherry picked and the guard went nuts. And so it kind of like the narrative looks like, oh, Pritchard, he's out there with the guys and like he's really adding to it. But I think that's kind of misleading.
I agree. It's still a little bit awkward with Pritchard out there. I mean, especially when he's not hitting all of his shots. He shot what tonight? 1 of 1, but it just feels like his I don't want to say his confidence isn't there because he's a very confident player, but it feels like he needs to see a few go down, like a couple games where he shoots like 3 or 4, 4 or 5, and he like gets in that flow, and then he can play off the ball a little bit better. But I thought he was fine. I think like we talked about last game, Sam Hauser emerging as like a really, really good bench role player. Like even before his shot was going down, like he went through some early season struggles. He was playing solid defense. He was rebounding the ball pretty well. He was like a nice connector. Joe Mazzulla had a funny quote after the game where he was asked about Sam Hauser's defense by Justin Turpin of WEI, and Joe goes, "Yeah, he's actually a better defender than most people realize. I think he's underrated. But if I say why, then I'll get in trouble," which is like just funny as hell. But Sam Hauser's defense is like legitimately good, like defense, and part of it is they attack him, and so it gives him an opportunity to be good. But like he's just a solid defender, which is a huge development for a guy who you're like, oh, he'll shoot his threes, but maybe you have to make up for it. But like if he's effective on the defensive end, then he's just a solid like bench player that can give you 20-25 a night. Like that's significant.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've observed is like Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday, their defensive instincts are so polished. So like the ways that they make plays, I mean, it was correct to call Marcus Smart the Cobra because it's so smooth like a snake.
Yeah.
Derek White, I feel like often his not defensive plays like the blocks or whatever, but his Jack is getting in trouble with the Garden staff. Derek White, some of his bigger defensive plays like look a little awkward. Like it's kind of surprising that he's in position to make those plays. And Sam Hauser kind of also ends up in that position that Sam Hauser makes really smart defensive plays, but not for maybe the reason that Mazzulla is identifying, but just sometimes it looks plucky in a way, maybe is the right way to describe it. Just for people who are listening or rather watching on YouTube, we are sitting courtside right now and we're just observing people tidy up after a game.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the way.
No, you're not in the way. What I was going to say is one of the things that I find remarkable being here after games is just how many people it takes to put a Celtics game on. When they have to turn this into a hockey arena, it's unbelievable how quick, efficient, and well staffed it is. But even right now, I mean, you might hear and see behind us this, but like I'm always so impressed by like the people behind the Celtics brand, like making this work. I mean, they technically work for Delaware North for TD Garden, but same but different.
Still.
So, anyways, for the people who are seen behind us, it's a funny distraction, but also I think a really impressive one.
Yeah, no, 100%. So many people in and out of this building that you really don't realize. But wrapping up the game, I think we covered most of the main points. Just a tiny development we don't have to discuss in full, but Tatum coming into this game was like by far and away the best plus-minus player in the league. And like the whole thing was like, oh, can the rest of the Celtics keep up tonight? Plus 12 for Tatum, and you had plus 17 for Brown, plus 19 for Porzingis, plus 14 for Derek White. So, like, I think you felt, even though Jaylen Brown didn't have the best shooting game, you felt like, okay, the Celtics are still good without Tatum, and I think that's important as far as the Knicks, because we really haven't talked about them specifically. Jalen Brunson makes more tough shots and like gets up quicker for his jump shot than any player in the league, almost like 26, 10 of 21, 3 of 7. He was awesome. Julius Randle put up another tour date, 7-19. Shout out, he's coming to Boston in July. Josh Hart, though, is what I really wanted to just briefly touch on before we get out of here. That play on Drew Holiday was maybe one of the funniest things I've seen on a basketball court.
Yeah.
Where he just missed a three, threw it off his back, and then made the three.
Josh Hart's just goofy, man. I think
he's good.
He's good. I think really present when he plays. He has fun. I mean, basketball's fun, right? Like,
if I can find it. Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. It was really fun.
Magic.
Let's see if I can get it up in time.
We'll close with the fun play, but I guess I'll share a thought, which is I'm still not sure the Celtics have beaten a good team. We said this the other night. I mean, the Raptors beat the Wizards, so maybe they're not as bad as we thought they were going to be. But yeah, still waiting for like a signature win or like a really impressive win from the Celtics. But let's close, because speaking of people who work, I got to get up in the morning. So let's close with some levity. No, I want to watch the play.
Oh, sorry. I watched it a couple times. I thought you had already seen it. My bad. Let's close with this Josh Hart play, which I tweeted out after it happened. I said, "Wow, Josh Hart made just a really annoyingly good play," because that's exactly what it was. Like this was one of the plays where no matter who you root for, you just kind of look down and be like, "All right, sure, that's gonna happen." He just throws it off Drew Holiday's back, sinks to 3. And while we're here,
can you imagine if the Knicks had won?
Right, and just right before we go. Last thing we do, since we're talking about annoyingly funny plays, we're gonna watch Isaiah Hartenstein make a 3 at the end of the shot clock, because this was also just ridiculous. Tatum's like on him, he's like, "Oh, this guy can't shoot. This can't shoot. I got him. Psych!" And he just banks it in. And at this point, it was particularly frustrating because the Knicks were like on a little run and the Celtics didn't look good. But, anyways, thanks for joining me once again, Cam. Another solid win for the Celtics. Drew Holiday was good. Everyone was good. But we'll throw it back over to our past selves.
Adios.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. It absolutely is. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
All right. Thank you to our future selves, or whoever I was with. Hopefully Sam, but we'll see. No complaints if it's Bobby or Cam either. If it was one of them, thanks for filling in. We appreciate you. But anyways, we're going to talk about right now is Dennis Schroder, because he was none too pleased with Mr. Joe Mazzulla in the Celtics' recent Raptors game. Obviously, by the time you're listening to this pod, the Celtics will have also played the Knicks. And at this current moment, when we're recording this, we don't know what the outcome was, but our future selves will. But in the Raptors game, Dennis Schroder, or Joe Mazzulla, I should say, called a timeout to challenge a call in the final minutes of the Celtics blowout win over the Raptors. And Dennis Schroder was basically, "What the fuck, dude? You're beating us by 30. Why are you challenging a call?" And Joe Mazzulla's explanation after the game was, "I want to treat all the players the same. I want to coach the game the same when the bench guys are in the game that I do for the starters. And so I would have challenged that call for the starters. So I'm going to challenge it when the bench guys are in the game." It led to a big scuffle. And Dennis Schroder, again, went over to the Celtics and was like, "Hey, what the hell? Why are we challenging this?" And everyone got mad. Thad Young got in there as a veteran he is and said, maybe you don't do this, blah, blah, blah. This ended up, I think this is about what it was. The out of bounds call here. They gave it to the Raptors, and Celtics thought it should have been theirs. But Joe Mazzulla hit the green light, and the Raptors obviously down by 30 at this point. We're kind of at. What's your take on this?
I kind of think the Raptors are right, to be honest. Because this is some shit Nick Nurse would do. It okay. Is. Like, the game's over. You don't need to challenge. Like, just call it a day. Let the clock run out. It's like when a team's down 10 and they're fouling with like 30 seconds to go. It's like, just let the game end. You don't need to make it a long, drawn out process any more than it already is.
This is like your don't intentionally foul when you're down by 7 rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Cedric Maxwell was asked about this, and he said, "If I was a player, I'd hate it, but like I understand why Joe Mazzulla did it, and I do understand why Joe Mazzulla did it. Like, you do want to make your bench, like if you're O'Shea Brissett and he doesn't challenge, he's like, we're down anyways. You're like frustrated. You're like, it didn't go out of me though. Like I'm playing for my minutes. I am playing with the minutes that I'm allotted and the chance that I'm getting. So like, let me I want the same treatment. If you're Joe Mazzulla, you're like, you know what, you're right. They're all my players. I want to, treat the game the same and coach them the same as I coach everybody else. But like you also said, if I'm the Raptors, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, fucking end our suffering. My response, though, which I tweeted, solution, food for thought, don't lose by 30. If you don't want to get mad in that situation, maybe just be better. Maybe don't suck. Thoughts?
Right. Yeah. Don't suck is a good one. It's good advice. I wish, and I'm pretty thankful that the Celtics have taken it so far this season. They haven't sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't been in a situation where the opposing team has challenged while they're down 30. With that being said, kind of a rap move by Mazzulla. I hate to not take his side.
Sure.
Rhode Island guy to Rhode Island guy. Just maybe don't do that. Maybe don't prolong the game out on that. Anything that prolongs the game when it's a massive blowout, don't need it.
Yeah, I understand that. But whatever. I get why you did it. Anyways, next thing we have is Kristaps Porzingis, who anytime we talk about Kristaps Porzingis, or most times, it's going to be because he is smiling like an idiot. And this quote gives off these smiling like an idiot vibes.
Absolutely does.
Per J King, Porzingis doesn't give a shit about his stats. He said, doesn't really matter for me. As long as we're playing the right way, we're making the right pass, we're shooting open shots and doing the right things. It doesn't matter. With this kind of talent level, it doesn't matter who takes your shots. It just has to be the right play. Honestly, for me, as long as we're playing the right way, it doesn't matter if I get those shots or not. I just enjoy drawing attention. If I'm setting a good screen for my teammate, rolling and drawing more attention, and somebody's getting an open three, I love that. I love those kinds of things. For me, it doesn't really matter as long as we're playing the right way, which he just said the same thing like 7 different times in 7 different ways. I realized
just grinning ear to ear.
Yeah, but I mean, everything you've heard from Porzingis to start the season has been, dude, these guys are just so good, man. Like, they're so open. This is sick.
He is the rescue puppy. He's like, I can't believe my owner doesn't kick me anymore. It's crazy. Like, he's just out there. He's willing to take 4 shots in a game, even though I think they lost that game. But neither here nor there. Oh, wait, no. They won against the Nets when he took 4 shots. Yeah. It's for the good of the team. What does he care? I'm glad that mentality has seemingly made its way through the rest of the team. I know Tatum and Brown have averaged near 20 shots per game, but regardless, their attempts are still down from last season, so they are making a sacrifice. Drew Holiday hasn't been someone that you've been watching games being like, damn, he's really forcing at least more than one time. Like maybe one game you're like, terrible, not great. But Derek White, same thing for him. He's just taken that role his whole time with the Celtics and been a fitting player, and when he's needed, he's stepped up. But usually he just does whatever job. He's a shapeshifter, and he doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need to score. He doesn't need all the stats to be happy. The wins keep him happy. The wins keep the rest of the guys happy. Even the bench has done a good job at filling their role, despite not necessarily being efficient at it. But somebody like Sam Hauser has really taken a leap in the last week or so in terms of making his shots. He was the last 5-6 games. He's shooting like 45, 50% from 3 in that range. After starting the season. Same thing he basically did, shooting 20% from deep over the first 3 games, I think it was. He was terrible. Pritchard has kind of come along at least a little bit. He hasn't been great. We haven't seen like back-to-back great games from Pritchard, but
the shot hasn't been there, but he's impacted.
He's broken through a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's almost weird because you mentioned Derek White, and when you said that, I kind of thought about Porzingis in a similar light. Like, Derek White's a role player. He just is. But he's like closer to an all-star than the traditional role player is, if that makes sense. Like, he is good enough to probably have a bigger role than a role player, but because of his standing on this team and how talented it is, he's been a role player. That's kind of like what Porzingis is now. He's just setting screens, rolling, and shooting open threes, and with the occasional post up when the matchup allows for it, right? He's not going, dribble hezzy too often. Like, he's not controlling the ball super, for long stretches. He's playing his role, but because he's such an elite player, he looks like a star in his role, and that's because he is an all-star caliber player. So I think how talented the Celtics are this year allows those guys to – it's almost like how Tatum has cut down his shots, but he's averaging just as many points more efficiently. They are cutting down their shots, but they're getting the same production because their shots are so good, because the looks they are getting are so high quality that they are putting up the same numbers. Like, Tatum's only taking 19 shots a game this year. Brown's at 18.6. And then everyone after that, Kristaps is only at 11.6. Drew Holiday's at 11.3. Derek White's at 9.6, and then Sam Hauser's at 6.4, and he's the next highest. But like Tatum shooting 52%, Jaylen Brown shooting 46.7%, which is up. Kristaps is shooting 55.8%, Derek White 50.7%. Drew Holiday's the worst, and he's still at 44.1%. And then Sam Hauser's at 48-45 splits. And then all those guys from three, Holiday's struggling the most at 33%, but after that, Tatum 39.5, Jaylen 38.2. Kristaps 39.5, Derek White 42.1. Like they're all shooting so efficiently because while they're not getting as many looks, they're getting such high quality ones. And if you're Kristaps Porzingis, yeah, you're not shooting the ball as many, but the shots you're getting are like I'm just fucking open, man. And he says it, he's like, I'm open, and it's fun. It's really fun to watch.
The man's just in disbelief out there. He's like, damn, my team's not 15 games under 500. What is this?
He's hyped.
He's either his team was 15 games under 500 or he's standing there while Luka dribble. Either step back or pass with no time on the shot clock, so you have to take the shot.
Yep. And if you would like to see us talk more about Porzingis with Jaylen Brown specifically, we just dropped a video on it, and people liked it. And
people liked the video.
And apparently, from what I've read, someone commented, I've heard the NBA, hasn't been clapping people as much for copyright because they like the promotion. No copyright clap for us. Nothing. We're in the clear. So you might be seeing a little less of the copyright film if we stay good here, which I know some people.
Biggest chat W of all time. Like we had let's say 15 people all just simultaneously pump their fist because people on the videos hate the copyright thing. Even though I think Jack does a pretty good job of making it where you can still see it. The people are like, "Are you guys serious?" Some guy was like, "I'm not watching anymore. You guys sold out or whatever."
I'm leaving.
Also, how about the guy that he told you were disrespectful to Cam?
Just give me a break. He's like, good podcast host. See this, and then he commented something very nice on.
No, he was back. He came back for the Porzingis video, but he's not afraid to let you know if you're not doing a good job. So that means his Kristaps good job comment is even more valuable. He's not. You want to know what I was doing?
I was just checking the time so I wouldn't miss my trains. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to keep track. Anyways, Kristaps.
People don't like that. I see other podcasts where I've seen people trash hosts for being on their phone. I'm on my phone every once in a while. People don't trash me. It's funny. I have the privilege. Jack does not.
All the time.
If I'm on my phone, I'm usually looking at something on Twitter, though. In fairness to me,
that's why I don't complain because it's normal. But
I'm trying to get information.
The one time I'm doing it. Nah, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Next thing we have is Jaylen Brown on Kristaps Porzingis. Apparently, they live in the same building. This came out today from Jaylen. And he said it's been nice getting to know him. And he said he's always winking at people. Like, what are you winking at me for? But you can see it with their chemistry on the court, which, again, we just did a video about. But Kristaps just seems like the most interesting character. He's just
Porzingis just a 7'4" clown?
Yeah,
I bet he can juggle.
It's weird because their personalities, I wouldn't have guessed that Jaylen Brown and Porzingis would be these tight knit guys on the group. Not that they would dislike each other, but it just seems like they wouldn't be, my first pick for Kristaps to be best friends with. I might have picked, maybe Tatum is more it because he seems kind of, I don't know. It's funny to think of Jaylen Brown walking out of his apartment just saying a wink from Kristaps in the hallway.
They're just at the apartment building playing Nerf hoops, and that's how they're really good at the pick and roll. They're just practicing on Jaylen Brown's door with the hoop on the top of it. That is crazy. Man. They live in the same building. I'm sure it was a recommendation, but it's got to be kind of cool. It's easy for them to maybe hang out. I know Jaylen said he got to know Porzingis quite a bit on rides back from the airport and practice facility, wherever they may be coming from, team related. So who knows? Maybe the Celtics should all live in the same building. Because if you had all 15 of them, the chemistry might be really, really good. It's pretty good now, but we talked about on the Porzingis video, imagine if Tatum was in the pick and roll with Porzingis dominating, how lethal that would be. If they all move in together, more Nerf, maybe you play, Cards Against Humanity, get everyone's sense of humor.
Last time we heard about this, it was Kemba and Grant Williams living together during quarantine.
That's true. That means it doesn't always work, though. Because after the bubble,
Well, it
Grant
worked
played
in the
well
bubble.
in the bubble playoffs.
Well,
but
it did work
after
for
that,
that
the
time.
following season, Grant sucked and Kemba was hurt.
Well, that does just mean maybe they have this. It's going to work really well for this year, and they just got to be really. Kristaps got to move out by the start of next year. Like it works. It's a finite time.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want Jaylen Brown to get sick of Kristaps. Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you really want to think about it, like the personalities seem kind of similar. Like Kemba was a big smile on the court guy, sure, but he did seem kind of serious. And of course, Grant is just a babbling idiot. So
moron. I love him. Loving moron. Lovable moron.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it does. It adds up. I mean, who's next? Imagine Peyton Pritchard rooming with like Luke Cornett. Very serious, very goofy.
Unironically, could see Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett living together. They seem like they would be good friends.
The Celtics could market that instead of painting their court fucking green. They could just do a Big Brother, and they have all of them live in the same house, and then they can make money that way instead of having Nike shove alternate jerseys and courts down our throat.
Yeah. Well, I have another quote. He said, "It's been a joy. KP is hilarious, funnier than you probably think. He's a good guy." So they're getting along well, which is good to see, and it's clearly translating to the court, which is even better to see. So shout out Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis. But we can move on and check in with our email. I believe we only have one today, but if you had to guess, Sam, I wonder who it's from. Who do we think?
We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. RJ.
Ooh, RJ, yeah. What's poppin'? Why were the Jays in so late? Evening, guys. Nice to see a game where the Celtics won every quarter. I didn't know that. Good. Really, my only question is, why were Tatum and Brown in until 5 minutes left in the game? Did Coach Mazzulla want them to get some reps with Al for old time's sake? Kristaps was already loaded managing on the bench. Other than that, it was nice to see Pritchard have a mini Draymond game with 7, 6, and 4 line, along with Hauser making rainbows. We even got to see bench Al have his own Draymond moment at 7, 7, and 4. On an NBA note, any word on what kept Lillard out of the Orlando game tonight? Looking forward to the next Monday. Be well, RJ. Shout out RJ, getting the Twitter in there too. This is new. Mayor of there on Twitter.
Follow.
Legend. Follow RJ. Absolutely. Couldn't recommend more. But I don't know. What'd you make of them being in so late against the Raptors? Did you care?
Padding. Shameless.
Well,
Joe knows Tatum is up for an MVP. Wanted to keep him in there. Jaylen was having this one. I think might actually be true. It's not even like satire. Like Jaylen's having a good game, back-to-back good games, and you've seen him struggle at times this season. You want to see him get as confident as he can get, especially going to the basket with the easy baskets he was getting against the Raptors. There was really if he's flying through the paint, I suppose you don't want him getting hurt. But why stop him, I guess? If you're going to challenge, it's kind of on brand for Joe to leave these guys in.
Yeah, sure.
And also, they didn't play that much in the Brooklyn game either, because that was back-to-back, and Jaylen sat like the whole fourth quarter. I don't even think he had to come back in.
Yeah, so they ended the game with Tatum 34-06, Jaylen 31-01. So it's not like they played a ton of minutes in general. If anything, my honest opinion, and we've said this time and time again, the Celtics are lucky because their stars like to play. Their stars don't want to sit. Tatum and Brown don't want to sit. Like, genuinely, as much as you laugh, it's true. Like, they just want to play, which is not something
Ben
like
Simmons is not the star player of this team.
Exactly.
Point for the Celtics.
Exactly.
Yeah, they actually like basketball.
They just want to play, and so they're probably like, nah, let's stay in the game. Also, Tatum was a plus 42 against the Raptors, which is kind of fucking crazy.
Again, stat pad.
Yeah, well, that's not even a stat pad. That's just like they are significantly better with Tatum on the court. But I just think they like to play, and they were probably like, I don't want to be out. Damian Lillard, I think he's dealing with an actual injury. I just forget what it is. I think it's like, I think he twisted an ankle or something like of that nature.
Let me see.
A calf. He's got a calf. I think it's a strained calf or something.
That's no joke, actually. I was going to say, if it's back spasms, that's the fakest injury ever. Like, I've never heard of back spasms. I think we've actually talked about this before. But Bradley Beal was out with back spasms, and he's on my fantasy team. And definitely a fake injury. Because he came back against the Lakers on Friday, and he looked good. So, definitely wasn't a real injury. They're just already load managing. And they're trying to get away with it because there's the new rule, and Devin Booker's also out.
Yeah, Dame is probable for tonight's game as we're recording this against the Bulls. But it says right calf injury management. So he probably just had like a strain or a really bad cramp in there for a few days. And again, like Sam said, calf strains, no joke. That shit hurts.
Not a joke.
But speaking of the Bucks though, and let's just jump right into our NBA look around as we do every podcast. The Bucks are they're not so hot. The Bucks are currently
Bucks bad.
falling down the standings. They are 5-4 on the season on a 2-game losing streak. They lost to the Pacers and the Magic in back-to-back games with Damian Lillard out. Giannis put up 54 and then 35. So it's tough to really point fingers and say it was his fault, but they have not been winning. They're not very good. The defense is struggling. Tyrese Halliburton fucking cooked them, and then they lost to Jalen Suggs. Not great right now for the Bucks. They're not doing too hot.
I think it might be growing pains. Hope
Probably.
It's not, but I mean that's what happens when you shake up your roster so much. Like. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to deal with guys learning how to play together, guys struggling and losing games, and I mean Dame's already out with injuries, so that plays a factor into them losing to Orlando, who are a decent team. But like Milwaukee's struggles are less legitimate than a team like I don't know Detroit. Sadly,
sure,
right?
Yeah,
they're not bad. That's a bad example, but like. Maybe more so like a team like the Clippers, right? Yeah. Even though the Clippers have work to do and they have a new piece in James Harden, they weren't playing great before that, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think Milwaukee will be fine. It's going to be a pain for the Celtics. And even if they're not fine, it's like you got their replacement Philly, who's won 8 in a row now, including a game over the Celtics. The Celtics will
Philly's
see them
real
Wednesday.
Good.
So keep your
Philly's
Celtics have a little chip on their shoulder going into Old Wells
Hopefully.
Fargo.
Would be pretty cool. I should be there for that game. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Should be fun.
Have fun. I hope they beat you up when you're walking in. Respect though. Respect to Philly fans because they care.
The Bucks are currently 25th in the league in defensive rating. That puts them.
That might not fix itself.
That puts them right next to the Wizards for context.
Wizards not a good team to be associated with in any stat.
No, not at all. That is
except for maybe lottery odds. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty horrendous. Their defense has been bad, and the biggest thing I've seen people getting mad about, in terms of Adrian Griffin, for the past 6 years, the Bucks have been first, second, sometime like once they were third, but first or second in rebounding. They're 29th in rebounding this year. That is a significant difference. What?
Maybe Brook Lopez old.
Well, the thing I've seen is with Drew Holiday not in, Giannis has been guarding the perimeter a lot more. And he's not in there getting rebounds. But also, like, I mean, to go from first or second to almost dead last in rebounds, once again, the only team worse than them is the Washington Wizards. Not a good thing to be associated with at the moment. The
Washington Wizards, by the way, who literally don't have a center when Gafford is not playing. Daniel Gafford is not playing. And also, not for nothing, Drew Holiday, excellent rebounder, at least this season. So that's another way that they fell off in that category. For the Celtics, he's grabbing 7.5 rebounds.
Career high. By far
career high in rebounds. He said, I saved them all up for this year.
His career high was 5.1 before this, and that was last year. Now he's at 7.3 so far. So good for Drew Holiday, taking a big leap in that category. And also 5.9 assists, also pretty good for a team that
double threat.
Puts the
I
ball
wonder.
around as much.
I don't know if I can bet here, but triple-double odds on Drew Holiday might be in your favor.
Could be okay. Could be all right. Bucks are also second to last in assists.
The Wizards there.
No, it's the Blazers. The Wizards are actually a decent assist team. They are fourth in assists per game this year.
Who's fifth?
Give them that credit. Fifth
is the Celtics near them.
Utah Jazz. No, the Celtics are 17th in assists per game.
Okay, all right. They have distance. That's good.
Just don't be close to the Wizards. The Bucks are just not good right now. That's just what it is, and we'll see how that adjusts throughout the season. But they're struggling. Also struggling the Clippers. We talked about it last time. They lost again last night. What is this now? 0-4 with
Lost
Harden in
to
the
the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, the now 2-8 Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
Shout out Marcus Smart. Beat him by 4.
Super cool dive.
Made a cool play. Yep. Yep. Desmond Bane killed him with 27 points. Excuse me. Sorry. James Harden, 4 for 12, 1 of 7. James. Oh
sounds like playoff game. Game 6 or 7. Very similar.
Context here, Sam. The Clippers lost by 3 or 4, 105-101.
Yep.
What was James Harden's plus minus on the night? There's your quiz.
Minus 17.
Minus 28.
Oh.
That is impressively bad. That is next level. Kawhi Leonard was a minus 18, not much better. Paul George and Russell Westbrook, both positive plus minuses, but yeah, it's bad. That's so bad. That experiment not working out too well for them. And Philly, meanwhile, is fucking dancing. Tyrese Maxey last night,
50
points.
That was a stat pad.
He's fucking 50. Nasty though. But I don't care. He's gross. He's so good. He's so
Daryl
good.
Morey is the winner in all of this because Harden was being a dickhead, and they went back on. They said they would pay me and all this, and it was like now they have to trade me, and no team wanted to trade for him. And now you're seeing why. You're also seeing why Daryl Morey didn't want to pay him. So like if Harden goes to LA and starts playing well, then they're like he should have paid him. Blah blah blah. Now they're like literally give him the minimum. Westbrook should make more money, whatever. Like he's been terrible. He has the Dallas Mavericks guy roasting him all accurate.
So funny.
And just tore him to shreds like we talked about last time. What a disaster the Clippers are. Feel bad for Steve Ballmer and his toilets. I do like him, but also this is retribution,
Mm-hmm.
He really ruined a great thing in the summer, and you shouldn't have pulled out of the deal. Shouldn't have pulled out.
Hate giving the Sixers credit, but they're fucking good. They're really good. Maxey's so good. Embiid's obviously Embiid. The pieces fit. Like Batum's a fine player. Covington's giving them real minutes. Like the guys they got back in the Harden trade are playing well. D'Anthony Melton's good. Tobias Harris is finally settling back into that third option instead of being relegated to the corner, and he's shooting like 60% from the field. Like you said last podcast, if we weren't Celtics guys, I would be perfectly okay with like, yeah, cool, good for the Sixers. Like they're good, but you can't do it. And as much as you can dislike Nick Nurse, and I back it, I'm with you.
He's
like,
the worst ever.
He's just objectively a good coach. Like he just is. As much as
he's a good coach, but he's annoying. I'll never forget that time you tweeted and you were like, "How can you not like Nick Nurse?"
I know.
And like I could like do a whole thread of reasons.
It was
not to
3
like
years
Nick Nurse.
ago. It was 3 years ago. It's my bad. I meant as a coach. He's a good coach. And I've seen a lot of Bucks fans be mad. Like, how are we hiring? Why did this Bucks hire Adrian Griffin over Nick Nurse? That's something I've seen a lot.
The funny thing is that somebody is doing a worse job than Bud, who is a moron.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, Ime Udoka could win Coach of the Year this year. Like the Rockets are really good.
6 in a row for the Rockets.
Yep.
I haven't really paid attention to their stats. I suppose I can go and look right now, but I didn't think the free agent pickups were good. I'm happy that they are kind of looking like they're turning a corner for the last 6 games at least. They just beat Denver. They beat Denver.
Yeah, they did.
What a win.
They are
Şengün,
one of
dog.
Mm-hmm. They are one of 4 teams currently with a top 5 defense and offense. The others being the Sixers, Celtics, and Nuggets. So that's pretty good company to be in if you're the Rockets. If you're a top 10 defense along with 3 of the best teams in the NBA, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And Ime Udoka's been a big part of that. Yeah, Jeff Green had 15. But right now, Şengün is averaging 19.5 points, 8.2 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 60, and then 25 from 3, but he's only taken 1.8 a game. So he's not really shooting them like that. Jalen Green shooting 41% from the field, but also 40% from deep. Fred VanVleet, not great shooting splits. That's never been him, but he's averaging 17 and 8 assists. And I don't know. I haven't watched his defense, but he's an okay defender, and I assume he's playing well within Udoka's system. Dylan Brooks shooting 55-53 splits. Jabari Smith 48-36. Jeff Green 61-36. Jayshawn Tate even 50-43 splits. So they're just playing good team basketball right now. And respect. I mean, Ime Udoka has them rolling. So good for them.
I do want to take a moment to talk more about Dylan Brooks. So Dylan Brooks, obviously, if you're brand new, you don't know about this, but literally everyone knows. In the spring, got absolutely clowned by everybody.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, like he didn't play well in the playoffs. He talked, and really it blew up in his face. Grizzlies essentially told them under no circumstances he would come back to the team. So he joins Houston. I think he played well in the World Cup. He got Canada to the bronze medal game, which was not where they thought they'd end up. But, I think he played okay. But he really, really, so far, has had a great start to the season after just being ridiculed, told learn to Chinese, like all this stuff, all the jokes, everything. He went and got better. Like, that's really, really cool. Good for him. Could be very fluky. In 2 weeks, he could be down to 30% from three. Who knows? But right now, 55 and 53 through 9 games, kind of sustained. Good for him. He's not being asked to do a whole lot. He only took 6 shots yesterday against.
He's playing defense, though. That's all he needs to do.
That's really his job.
So he's doing his role. Another thing, Heat, 5-game win streak. They're bringing it back. Bam Adebayo looks nasty. He's averaging 23 and 10 and 4 right now.
Looked good against the Celtics, too.
Yep, shooting 53% from the field, 50% from deep, but he's taken like fucking 2 on the season, so it doesn't count. Tyler Hero having a nice season. He just missed a game recently, but he's been efficient. The resurgence of Duncan Robinson, averaging 13 points a night. He's only shooting 35.7% from deep, but I mean, he's getting the minutes and he's playing fine. Haywood Highsmith playing well for them too. Their latest, didn't know this guy existed project. Same thing with Drew Smith, who's shooting 44% from 3. Jaime Jaquez getting real minutes, not shooting particularly well, but I mean, he does what he does. So they're playing well. Shocker. That's all I got for the Heat. Pacers still good. They just lost to the fucking Sixers last night, but when Maxey puts up 50, like, you kind of just go, what are you gonna fucking do? Like, not much you can do in that point. Bulls still bad. Fuck the Bulls. Raptors rough. The Cavs are 4 and 5 right now. What do you make of that? Is that just like chemistry, building it together, tough schedule? Like, that's weird.
I don't really know if it should be chemistry. They have mostly the same team. They added Strus and Niang, but besides that, Garland's back, Mitchell's back, Mobley's back, Jared Allen was hurt for a couple games. Okoro's actually playing well. Like, they shouldn't be a 4 and 5 team. They just shouldn't. They're probably the most surprising team that isn't really up to expectations. Like, even Milwaukee, if you told me they started slow, I would have been like, yeah, okay, I can see it. Cleveland, I would have told you there's no reason for them to have a stumble out of the gate start. They're lucky they're in the East because the West is such a dogfight. I mean, it's early, but all these teams really could get in the playoffs. Probably not Memphis, probably not Utah, probably not San Antonio or the Blazers. But besides that, 11 teams you could tell me got into the playoffs, and I would not be surprised. In the East, it's not really the case. If they could cut it down to 6 teams, that would probably be enough. You don't need all 10 getting in the postseason.
Well, now you kind of do. Now there's a couple, like, not to pat ourselves on the back. Pacers and Magic playing really well this year. 5 and 4 Magic, 6 and 4 Pacers. Like, they look like they're the real deal. The Hawks even look all right, which is kind of surprising to me. I wasn't too in on the Hawks this year, but they've got a top 6 offense, and their defense is 18th, which isn't as good, but it's better than past years. It's better than they have been. So, excuse me, you give them that credit. What else around the league? Last things before we go on to something else. Timberwolves have won 6 in a row. So just the teams that have beaten the Celtics are on fire. So, like, they've lost to good teams only. Which, I mean, you can say, I heard Zach Lowe say, like, they don't have a signature win yet, which is, like, kind of true. They haven't really had a really, really good win yet because they're just blowing out shit teams.
Miami win was okay. They didn't have
opening night was okay too. They beat the Knicks. Knicks aren't terrible, but they're like not a bad team. It was an impressive
like stand at the end of the game.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I get it, but they have another crack at Philly tomorrow, or when you're listening to this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they get it done.
We'll see what happens. But moving on to some other NBA news, the Nuggets have extended head coach Michael Malone.
Mike Malone's fire.
To what I say, duh. Yeah, no shit. Like, obviously, like, the Nuggets are probably the best team in basketball. You're going to, obviously going to extend the head coach who has brought them through everything, helped develop this talent, developed a rapport with Jokic and Murray and Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and all these guys. Michael Malone's great. Good for him. Like, he deserves it. I don't know how long it is or any of the details, but it, like, I was surprised to see that he wasn't already extended. I'll put it that way. Like, this was the most obvious shit ever, right?
Yeah, going into the year, I think it was not this year, but the next season was going to be when his deal was up, and there was a little bit of, wait, what? Why hasn't he been extended yet? So it's good they got it done. Malone's been excellent for them. He's a great character, talks his shit when they win. He had that little thing where like he was going back and forth to the Lakers. The Lakers were really hurt by the things Mike Malone said. Tough. And then they got whomped on opening night. So awesome from Mike Malone. Glad to see he's doing well. His dad just passed away, so it's good that he got a little bit of a boost getting the extension. Not to say he didn't deserve it, but good for him.
Yeah, Michael Malone, fire. On some other unfortunate news, Kelly Oubre. This shit's crazy, man. This came in after the game, Celtics Raptors. Kelly Oubre was hit by a car. Woj tweeted he
wild.
Follow-ups have come in and said like he broke multiple ribs. He was, hit in the chest by the car. Tyrese Maxey after the game, like after he dropped 50, said like, dedicating this to Kelly, et cetera, et cetera. That shit's just like what the hell? Like that's insane. I
want to know how you're driving a car and you don't see a 6'9" man. Like you can't really miss him. How do you hit that guy? I don't know if he was in the crosswalk. He wasn't in the crosswalk. I did not get to read the Woj story. I've been bouncing around here, so I haven't had him a lot of time, but I did see the news. Absolutely crazy to not see Kelly Oubre. Larger than average, larger than above average. Man, you should see him.
Yeah, he suffered a fractured rib, according to Tim Bontemps, ESPN. Nick Nurse said he's back home and doing okay. It's a pretty traumatic incident, but he's home and resting fairly comfortably. That's where we're at right now. Shams also tweeted out with information. He said broken ribs and an assortment of bruises and cuts to his body after being struck by a car in Philadelphia. Oubre fortunately avoided more serious injuries, but will now miss significant time. From the Philadelphia Police Department, Kelly Oubre was struck in the upper chest area by a silver vehicle traveling at a high-speed rate on Saturday night. The car fled the scene. In addition to broken ribs, Oubre has injuries to his hip and right leg. That's just like
sucks.
That's the scariest shit, dude.
I mean, sure, you don't want to ever get hurt, but like if you're a basketball player, of all injuries, like ribs towards the top of ones, you'll be okay. Legs, you need those. Definitely need those. Sucks.
And not that the context of like, oh, he was doing so well too matters, but like he was having a phenomenal.
It does
season
matter.
For him. Well, I know, but not in the sense of not in the sense of like that's the least of his worries right now. That's the least of anybody's worries right now is the on-court stuff. Like glad he's okay, but like Oubre was playing great this season. 16 points a night, 50% from the field, 38% from deep, like making a real impact for that Sixers team. And now they'll miss him for a little while. Again, the most important thing is that he's alive, that he is okay. But like that shit, like that came across the timeline. It was just like, what the fuck? Like that's some scary shit, dude. That's terrifying. So I'm glad Kelly Oubre's okay, of course. But anyways, anything else? Do we have any other NBA stuff, or I think that was it?
I don't think so. I have not been that active, but
all right. I think that's about it. We can move into the rat list here. And Sam, would you like to kick it off?
Yeah, I think we both have. This is going to be a long one, huh?
We've got a decent amount of stuff here. We don't have to go forever, but
yeah, we'll start with this. So I'm in Ireland. I'm on a trip, and I was at the store today looking for seltzer, and they don't have any seltzer in this country. I swear to God, they don't have any. I looked across like 3 different grocery stores. They do not have liter bottles of seltzer. They just don't. They have this crap that's like, which I thought it was seltzer. I thought I found some. It's that flat water it's flavored water. And
like Propel.
Yes. It's like a big Propel. Mm-hmm. It's not what I wanted. I don't know how the hell they don't have it. They have sparkling water. They just don't have any with no flavor. Like with minimal flavor, I should say. How do you not have this? This is a popular drink. People drink this. Maybe you don't drink this, but a lot of people drink seltzer.
Yeah, I don't drink it, but that's okay. Yeah, that's tough. I'm not a seltzer guy myself, but I can imagine if you are a seltzer guy like you, not being able to have it, it's tough. Very tough look. In a rat list, these fucking bank motherfuckers who fucking me this morning. I was so mad. So this morning, I was called by a number and they were like, hey, there's a fraud charge like on your account, like blah, blah, blah. You know, do you want to fix this? Blah, blah, blah. I hung up. right? Because I thought I'm like, this is weird. It's from like a standard number. What is it? So I check, and it is the number of my branch, like my bank branch location. So I'm like, okay, if it's coming from that number, it's fine. I call back. They ask, here's the information, blah, blah, blah. Do you need this? Do you need this? I didn't give like my social or like my full account number or anything. Like I'm aware of that. But I gave like, they asked, oh, here's, you need the last 4 digits of your card, or do you need this? Or like, what's your, we want to ask you for your password, but what's your username of your account? So I'm like, okay, this seems pretty standard. They know what not to ask. Call them. They go, okay, we just changed the password on your account. Try to log in. I'm like, okay, I did log in. Thank you. And they said, okay, we're going to hang up, call back so we can verify this just to make sure your phone number is correct. Because my phone number, for some reason, glitched a few weeks ago and isn't attached to my bank account right now. So you can't send one-time passwords. So I hang up. They say, call us right back. I called them right back. And when I called, someone different picked up because I called the number to the branch. And they're like, hi, how are you? I'm like, hi. You said to call back. And they said, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what do you mean what I'm talking about? Like, you said to call back. And so I said, maybe I talked to somebody different. And the lady was like, nobody here talked to you. And I was like, well, then can you transfer me to fraud department or something? Or like, can you put a block on my account? Because something's wrong. And so I called them and they were like, yeah, we've had that. Like people can spoof numbers. So it appears to be the correct number on your phone. And so like some random scammers called me, and luckily my phone number wasn't attached to my account. So I couldn't give them the one-time passcode they were looking for to access my account, but they still were able to like get in and successfully change the password. And so, I mean, I'm fine. Like nothing got taken. My bank just canceled my account. They put a block on everything. My money's all safe and stuff. I just have to go in, get a new card, and make new accounts tomorrow. But it's just like, I was already stressed this morning, and Sam and I were supposed to record like 2 hours ago. And I was texting him like, dude, I don't know what the fuck's happening. So I was so angry. I'm so stressed, and I don't get angry often. And as you've seen on the podcast, when I do get angry, it's like emphatic. And so I was sitting in my room. I dented the shit out of my trash can. I just fucking punched it.
That's good.
I was getting so angry. And so yeah, ratless fucking scammers who tried to take my money, but also get fucked idiots. You got nothing. Eat shit. You got fuck you.
Well, they got your
so they did get my time. I was so angry, and I was just, it was disaster. It was a disaster morning. But yeah, we're okay now. No, we're safe. We're good. But
that's the most important thing. I'm glad you're not out of money.
No, we're good. We're fine.
So, ratless, my foot all of a sudden started killing me on the flight. Get up, walking, it's just sore. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it might just be tired. But like, I'm also just not gonna have time to give it a break because I'm walking around and stuff. And I ran today.
Yeah.
When I was running, it wasn't even bad. Like now, I don't think it's that bad either. But when I woke up today, holy hell, did it hurt? And it hurt all yesterday.
Just
I think it's
randomly?
the shoes I'm wearing. So I'm going with my running shoes. Yeah,
That's
randomly.
so
I don't know
weird.
what happened. I didn't hit it. I didn't slam it. Nothing. Literally, it was just
That's
like,
super
okay,
weird.
that's enough of that. So the foot is absolutely cooked. Kind
So
of.
which foot is it?
My right foot.
That's so odd. So random. It's tough though. A rat list. I mean, I guess it's not rat list. I'll just talk about ball last night. I couldn't hit a fucking shot. I was airballing three. Yeah, it was. Well, no, I that's why I didn't say it. I did other things. Like I was cutting. I was running the fast break. I was hitting like layups in the paint. I was making the right reads. But like when it came to time to shoot a 3, Jack, it was fucked. Like anything outside of me going up and hitting, a layup off the glass, I couldn't make it. Like there was a little like 15-footer I had that was like a little put around air ball. Like I couldn't, for whatever reason, I just couldn't hit anything outside of layups. And again, I was playing fine defense. I was running the fast break. I was getting inside. I was cutting when opportunity presented itself, but I couldn't hit a shot, and it was very frustrating. Because we had an okay team. I just couldn't do it. So that's ratless there.
That's tough, Jack. That's enough to make you not want to play anymore. Hang it up.
Yeah, it was fuck you.
Did you at least win?
It was like a mixed night. We went like 500 on the night. Actually, no, that's a lie. We lost 2 to start, but then we run 3 in a row. So it wasn't bad. It was okay. Because I remember we had to sit down.
Do you think it could have been an undefeated night if you didn't suck? How much responsibility are you willing to take?
No, and I'll explain why after.
Okay.
I had some teammates.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's see. I have a bunch. I'm trying
I
to
mean,
pick.
we could have done better if I had shot well, but we like
Thinking
one of the
about it.
games we lost like 14 to like 6. Like it wasn't close. Like it wasn't like it was a 1-point game we lost. There was one though that we were down 3. We did the foul thing, miss. Tyler threw like this fucking heater of a quarterback pass without looking to me, and I just missed the 3, which would have brought us to within 1. And then someone got an offensive rebound, and I missed a 3 again. So that one's on me. I missed 2 threes, which is tough luck. But it is what it is. Yeah.
All right. Rat list, Ireland. How the fuck are you Ireland and you don't have any Celtic stuff in your like sports stores? They have other NBA stuff. Like it's not like they don't like basketball here, they don't carry it. No. Like I go into like their equivalent of like, I don't know, Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, because I'm just kind of wandering around, like looking at stores, like curious how things are here, etc. One of the only NBA jerseys that you could buy was a LeBron Lakers jersey. Now, Jack, would you?
Tough.
First of all, that's terrible as it is, but at least understandable. It's probably the most famous player on the planet. Now, Jack, would you like to guess who the other 2 players' jerseys that you could buy?
Oh, okay. Would I be able to guess this based on like, is it like OG Anunoby because he's from London and it's close?
No,
Okay.
has nothing to do with that.
Are they
Random.
all-stars?
They have been in the past.
Okay. Ooh, I won't take too long. I'm just gonna guess 2. I'm gonna go with.
All right.
Are they current players?
Current players.
Shit. Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram, no.
And then Kyle Lowry.
No.
Okay,
So the only other 2 players that they had jerseys for in this store were Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan.
Just, I guess the Bulls are a famous brand.
And they had Ja Morant t-shirts.
Is this like the NBA Store Ireland? Is that what it is? Or is it like...
Not NBA Store Ireland. It's literally like their version of Dick's Sporting Goods. Like they have all soccer stuff, sneakers, like all kinds of stuff. But you can get yourself a nice Zach LaVine jersey.
I wonder if it's like...
Oh, and Curry. They did have a Curry jersey. Okay. I'm sorry.
Curry makes sense.
Yes.
I wonder if it's like the Bulls are just a very famous brand, which like also kind of makes
probably
sense.
Because of Jordan, yes.
That's so weird.
But still weird.
No,
loser stuff. Selling Zach LaVine stuff to your fellow countrymen is a way to make your country a loser country. And by the way, from every informational piece I've listened to on this tour, it sounds like Ireland's a loser country. Kind of bad voodoo on the Celtics. Like every time they talk about wars, they're like, yeah, we lost. Some guy was telling us about wars, and he said moral victory. Moral victory.
It's war. What? How is there a moral victory in war?
I don't know.
Isn't war just you surrender or you win? Isn't that how war works?
I don't know, but they're like going through the country's history, and they're like, yeah, we don't win a lot of wars. I was like, what? Maybe it's because you're selling Zach LaVine jerseys.
I'm not one for the international or geopolitical climate or whatever it is, but I'm pretty sure there are not many moral victories in war.
Well, at least our country's not a crater. Good moral victory.
At least the country didn't get fucking blown up. At least we just lost with dignity. It's war and all, but we tried.
Somebody's gonna get upset with this, but it's funny.
We tried our best. I'm gonna go back to the road.
Good luck following that.
I got a good one because I got pictures. Rat list.
Okay, good.
My sister got in a car accident, and I'm gonna rat list it on the podcast, and I got permission. Okay. So, first off, my sister's okay. She's okay. They just got rear-ended. It was her and her friend. They're fine. Everyone is like fully healthy. No one got hurt. It's okay. However, she was terrified. She was very scared. But I'm gonna rat list it.
Laughing at your sister.
You're still laughing at war. I know you are.
Yeah, I'm laughing at war.
But so this is what happened. I'm gonna explain it here. My sister's friend was driving, and they were in the middle of 3 cars just on this road. Like there were 3 cars driving along this road, whatever. Somebody is coming the opposite way and is trying to turn left. So they are trying to cut across, obviously, the lane my sister was driving in. My sister's friend was driving in. the car in front of my sister and her friend stopped to let them go in the middle of the road. Like this wasn't like a stoplight. This wasn't like, I have a stop sign. This was stopping in the middle of a road, like a busy road, to let someone go. And they like slammed on the brakes to let them go. Don't know why. Right. And so my sister's friend has to slam on her brakes. And luckily she stopped quick enough to where it was, fine that everyone was okay. But the car behind my sister's friend did not. And so this is what happened. This was what happened to my sister's friend's car. I'll move Matt so you can see this.
Okay, let's look.
This was the end to my sister's friend's car. So they got rear-ended, swerved off the road, flat tires and stuff. And from this, you might think, oh, it wasn't actually that bad, right?
Moral victory. Yeah, your car still is there.
Here's the other person's car behind them. Not as much of a moral victory.
Who won the accident?
Well,
Let's debate.
My thing is, and I feel bad for this person.
You got the license plate on the screen. Wait.
I'll blur it. But my thing is,
panic. You just went the sheet and put please blur.
I did. I'm putting blur license plate here so I can make sure not to dox anybody. But my thing here is it wasn't like, in my opinion, I don't know what insurance is going to say. I don't know what the police are going to say, whatever, whatever. I don't think it was this person's fault. You don't stop in the middle of the road to let someone fucking go. Like, that is bad. Unless you have enough time, unless like there's a gap and they are already going and you have enough time to slow down and be okay. That is like, okay, I'm going to slow down. You don't halt like traffic to let somebody go. That is how literally accidents happen. Like, that is.
Yeah.
Like,
when we usually bitch about it, it's like they're inconveniencing us because we have to stop, but this is actually why it's bad.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's so yeah, rat list, the person in front of this person in the blue car, because that's
maybe you
not
should
okay.
Actually no, it's not the blue car. If you had the person that stopped short's license plate, dox them, but you don't. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, because they were unharmed. They just got a little tap from when the blue car hit my sister and her friend's car into their car. And I saw them over there and they were like, oh, is our thing okay? I'm like, is your thing okay? Do you see what you fucking did to the people behind you? You fucking assholes. So yeah, ratless them. That's some fuck shit. So.
Do you have anything else?
Just the Bulls. Just ratless the Bulls. Fuck the Bulls. I don't like writing about the Bulls. The Bulls suck. Stop winning games. Blow up the team. Y'all
Ireland, stop selling their uniforms.
Yeah. Cut the shit. Stop.
Yeah.
You're bad. I'm so mad. It's unbelievable how fucking delusional the Bulls are. How is ownership and the team and everyone like, no, it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to win. You can just be good. But you're not good. You're not even like okay to being good. Like, I was listening to Zach Lowe and he was like, it is literally organizational misconduct if they don't trade DeMar DeRozan this year and don't extend him, because then you lose him for nothing. And it's not like you're playing for anything. You suck. They stink. They almost lost to the Pistons last night. And if it wasn't for a second quarter run by Ayo Dosunmu where he like changed the energy, you would have lost to the Pistons. The Pistons suck. You won by 9.
Pistons sadly still suck.
Bad.
I'll be wrong about the Pistons every year because they're due. Has to be the year it's going to take the jump.
Wrap us up so I can head into Boston and fucking do whatever.
All right. So
out of here.
This will be a two-parter. These are two different points on my sheet. But
please,
before Jack arose from the flat of his bed today, whatever, I was killing time because I had some time. So I walked around where I'm at. I went into the mall where they sell the Zach LaVine jerseys. And I see this fucking guy in a Lakers Letterman. Why is this a rat list? Because it's a green Lakers Letterman. If you saw this guy, in Ireland, and if you saw this guy and you didn't have your glasses on and you can't see like detail, you would think he was wearing a Celtics piece of merchandise. So rat list whoever made that item, because under no circumstance should the Lakers get any kind of profit from something that is in Celtic green. It literally looked like a piece of Celtics merch. I almost like said, hey, can I take a picture of you? Because I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
You should have.
So ratless to that guy. And then after I was done walking around the little mall, I go on my phone and I say, I would like a donut. Now, I had a donut yesterday. They have a few different donut shops here. I Google donuts near me. I Google donuts near me because I want to try different places so I can be like, this one was the best because I like donuts. It's like the little thing I get myself every once in a while when I want something sweet. Back-to-back days in this case. What are you going to do? So I find this one place, and it's a little bit of a troop, but I have time. So I walk there. I walk across town. I walk south, to the south side of the town. Not that that makes a difference, just across the river.
Yeah.
And the shop has perished. The shop is no longer even there. It's not even closed. It's just not there. Because if it was closed, I would have saved myself probably 15 minutes of like, well, maybe I missed it. No, it's just an empty, what do they call it? Unit with like a for lease sign on it. No remnants of a donut shop. And I was just strolling around like a moron. I wonder what Chris Broussard would have to say about this.
Dude, I'm like fucking everything's funnier this morning because I was so stressed out and like I'm just like laughing on fumes like an idiot. Oh man. Yeah, no, I agree. Fuck that. When shit's not there. How is Ireland though? Like outside of the fact, other factors like just general. How do you like it over there? Cool.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine.
My takeaway when I visited there is they feel like they are 10 years behind. Just everything just looks older. Everything seals behind. Everyone's just smoking cigarettes everywhere.
A lot of
outside.
cigarettes. Yeah, a lot of cigarettes. That's a good take. It does feel like that a little bit. Like the signage is kind of dated.
Yeah.
Like the signs on shops, things like that. It doesn't feel as modern. I don't know, but England's similar. London is not similar, but like other cities in England are similar.
I got you.
London is like
All right.
New York. Just a diesel hoss of a city.
All right, we can call it there. Thank you all for tuning in to How About Them Celtics again. We're recording most of this before the Celtics-Knicks game. I will be here with hopefully Sam, maybe somebody else. We'll see what happens. But thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. A lot of nice video comments on our latest film breakdown. We might have to do that more now that the NBA has decided not to clap us for copyright. I appreciate the appreciation for our breakdown of facial expressions.
Yeah,
we enjoyed.
Meme video breakdown,
which was fun. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to leave us ratings on Apple and Spotify if you enjoyed. Subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Leave a comment. Comment what's popping if you'd like to be entered in a chance to win a $10 gift card to Incognito. Shout out to them. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can hit the notification bell there so you don't miss any of our daily uploads, a film breakdown, a full-length pod, anything else we decide to do will be here, as well as our pregame streams. So make sure you come out for those. Those are a lot of fun. A lot of people in the chat. We had a blast the other day. What was it? At the airport. Jack was standing for the national anthem on stream. Just a nice look at the zipper of his pants. And then it was a blast. So come out for them. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple, like Jack said. Follow us there. You can leave a 5-star rating, say something nice. You can follow us on socials at How About Them C's. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. A lot of people have been coming over there. You can get our pregame streams there. Leave a like. Do it. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSimoneNBA. Just posted an interview he did with ESPN's Cassidy Hubbarth at Friday's game against the Nets. That was pretty cool. He got to do that. Make sure you check it out, say something. And I think our tri-weeklies will be there too. So read those. You can follow me on Twitter at SamLaFranceNBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.